On Newswatch, flood warnings along the Ohio River following the severe weather earlier this week.
Plus, we'll be live at Ohio University's Take Back the Night for an in-depth look at the event.
And in sports, Ohio's softball head coach continues to make an impact beyond the diamond. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Jack Green.
And I'm Lucy Schaefer. Welcome to Newswatch.
Flood warnings remain in effect for a majority of the region, especially along the Ohio River and the Scioto River, Joining us now is forecaster Steve Nedlick. Now, Steve, we've had these really severe storms earlier this week, and it seems pretty nice today, but what seems to be going on? Why do we have these flood warnings?
No, anytime you get a lot of rain like that, it's really hard to keep all the water heading out. So you get a lot of puddling, and especially along the Ohio River, it's easy to get flooding in low areas. So that's why you continue to see those warnings in those areas, but not so much around the Hocking, because we are have a little bit more valleys in our area.
Yeah. And so kind of looking at that, what can people expect coming in tonight?
People can expect the warnings to stick around the Ohio River and on the Scioto River as we continue to see that rain over the next few days. But as for today, we saw a high of 48 with showers staying in the area, and we had a low of 34. Currently, that rain has stuck around, and we have a current temperature of 45 degrees, and that rain has been mostly due to the low pressure system that has really intensified over the past few days. You can really see how we had this low pressure system really set up. It is very intense, and it's not really going anywhere over the next few days. However, you can see this high pressure system begin to set up. That will begin to move it out and give us a little bit of a break as we head into Saturday, but it won't be long as we have another low pressure system setting up behind it that'll surely bring more rain and cloud cover. Looking into tonight, we have an overnight low of 34 degrees with, again, a chance of showers due to that low pressure system. Looking into tomorrow, more of the same. We have a 50% chance of showers, so again, not really a pleasant day. Temperatures remain around the mid to low 50s with a low of 29 degrees. If you look into your weekend, again, Friday we have that chance of showers, but Saturday, due to that high pressure system that sets up, we're really going to get a little bit more warm temperatures with a high of 52, but then we have more rain coming back on Sunday, so we'll have to really plan our weekend around that and try to get as much as you can done on Saturday and leave everything for your inside on Sunday. Stick around for my full weather to find out more.
Thanks, Steve. As warmer weather returns to Athens, many families will head out to the park. And come fall, Athens residents can expect to have a new playground to enjoy. Athens Arts, Parks, and Recreation awarded a $20,000 grant for the Richland Avenue Playground renovation project. This includes removing current rusted playground equipment and installing new turf surfacing, along with accessible and inclusive playground equipment. Athens residents are taking back the night tonight in an effort to spread awareness about sexual assault. Newswatch reporter Allison Patton joins us live with one of the event's organizers. Allison?
Thanks, Jack. I'm here minutes before the start of Take Back the Night with Student Senate's Women's Affairs Commissioner Lucy Becker, an organizer of the event tonight. Lucy, Take Back the Night is all about bringing awareness to sexual assault and domestic violence. So, what is Take Back the Night?
Take Back the Night is an amazing event where supporters of survivors of sexual misconduct can come together and march and just let women and other victims out there know that we support them and that we believe victims.
All right. So what can participants expect tonight?
Participants can expect a couple great keynote speakers in the ballroom, and then we're going to take a hopefully large crowd on a march, and we're going to do some chants and just spread the word that we believe victims.
All right, so why is it important to talk about sensitive topics like sexual assault and domestic violence?
It's really important to talk about these issues because it destigmatizes coming forward about them, and they're also very, very common issues, especially for college-aged people. So it's really important for us to create a culture where people feel comfortable coming forward about these things.
Okay, and how can our viewers learn more about Student Senate's initiative and some of the topics discussed tonight?
My commission has office hours pretty much every day of the week in the Senate office, so feel free to come talk to us whenever.
All right, we'll have a full recap of tonight's event on Newswatch tomorrow. Thank you, Lucy.
Thanks, Allison.
The Athens City Council is moving their weekly meeting. The council, which usually meets on Monday nights, is moving their meeting to Wednesday. Council President Sam Krause says this is because members will be out of town to watch the solar eclipse. The council is expected to discuss a number of key issues, including potentially joining a council of governments focused on solid waste collection. A new lawsuit is challenging state abortion laws, and it will be on the forefront of voters' minds in the upcoming Supreme Court races this fall. The filing from the American Civil Liberties Union of Ohio came in last Friday and was largely overshadowed by the Christian holidays this past weekend. The suit challenges the 24-hour waiting period before one can receive abortion care, as well as the required OBGYN meeting and ultrasound. The Ohio ACLU's Frida Levinson says Issue 1 was clear in preventing the state from putting up barriers for abortions.
Coming up, what researchers are looking forward to as the eclipse approaches.
And a new report predicts the upcoming hurricane season will be the biggest yet.
Low pressure has dominated the area. Find out how long it sticks around next.
You feel like everything's in some ways the same. You still wake up, you're still you, but there's a shift and you can't quite put your finger on it. It's really a crossroads moment for humanity. We all feel something is not working, and at the same time, we're grappling and looking for something else.
Innovation occurs at the intersection of things. The greatest opportunities are in chaos. In times of change, there's a maximum opportunity to change everything.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
The Maya built great cities.
Terraces, road systems, it's a perfect planned city.
And then abandoned them. Can new discoveries reveal why?
And then, bam, we have these huge deposits.
It is completely unique. There's nothing like it.
There's a history behind those artifacts, a culture we want to know better. The Maya are still here.
Ancient Maya Metropolis on Nova.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
Coral reefs. They are one of the most endangered habitats on Earth when it comes to climate change. But help is on the way. I'm Dr. M. Sanjay. Join us as we find ways to preserve our changing planet.
We have the building blocks to rebuild that reef.
To see science in action, absolutely amazing.
Subtle rises in sea level.
These events are climate change.
Let's figure it out.
It's science and it's conservation.
We're at a period of remaking the world.
We can change the Earth.
We're doing this for the future. If we don't, what then?
You've been hearing about it for months, but now we are just 4 days away from the total solar eclipse. And while millions will likely be looking up watching the event, scientists will be using this chance to try and better understand the sun's activity. Michael Yoshida has more.
As millions watch the moon block out the sun, scientists across the globe will be keeping a close watch too. This eclipse allowing researchers to study the outer edges of the sun in a way they normally can't.
If you talk to the science community about this, they call the moon the perfect coronagraph because it blocks out most of the sun in just a way that allows us to look at the corona.
That's the outer atmosphere of the sun, a place scientists still have many questions about. It's where solar winds and storms come from, which when aimed at Earth can affect our upper atmosphere.
Sometimes in great ways like the northern lights, and sometimes in not so great ways like disrupting communications.
NASA will be using sounding rockets and high-altitude planes to try and better understand this solar activity. In the past, GPS, electrical grids, satellites, and more have been impacted by solar storms.
The sun's activity is ramping up.
Peter Becker, a George Mason University professor, is working with the Navy and Department of Defense to better understand how solar activities impact systems on Earth, including the internet. He says a lot of infrastructure needs to be improved to prevent what he calls an internet apocalypse.
If you take the internet down, even for a day, I think the estimates are like about $10 billion of economic damage per day in the U.S. alone.
I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
You know, Steve, we're still 4 days away. It's on Monday, so there's plenty of time for the weather to change, things to happen. So what might we expect if we're going out to watch the eclipse? Will I need a coat?
Now, we can't really tell temperature this far out, but we have seen some good forecasts for cloud cover. We're starting to see a little bit of clearing, so that's pretty positive news if you're really trying to see the eclipse.
So if I'm trying to look up, I won't see a cloud?
You might not. We're not sure yet because it's so far out, but the models are looking good that we might have a clear sky that day.
Listen, as long as I don't look up and then a raindrop falls into my eye, I might be happy. But what can people expect kind of tonight?
Tonight, we can still expect some clouds, much like we had today, as this low pressure system is really sitting in the area. So today, again, we had those showers in the area with a high of 48 and a low of 34. And that's really going to be how the next few days look for us, except for when the eclipse shows up. Currently, we have temperatures sitting at 45 degrees with rain, and that is due to this low pressure system that's really been sitting in the area. Due to all this rain, you can really see the flood warnings that have come into effect along these rivers, especially the Ohio River around Marietta and Parkersburg. Now, all this rain came about as a result of this really intense low pressure system that's set up over Ohio over the past few days. You can really see it's very dense and has a lot of rain and cloud cover in it. As we look closer into Ohio, you can really see the scattered rain and snow mix we have had over the past 24 hours, and you can really see how you can't really tell what the weather's going to do to you 30 minutes to an hour out as it's so scattered. Looking into tonight, much of the same as we have an overnight low of 34 with, again, chance of showers. Tomorrow, again, much of the same with 48 degrees as our high and 29 as our low. Those showers, again, stick around. Looking into tomorrow, we still have that low pressure system in the area, but you can start to see the high pressure move in from the Midwest and really start to play a big factor in giving us a pretty decent looking Saturday. As we look into the night on tomorrow, you can really see the high pressure drive it near Ohio and start to push that cloud cover out, and it'll give us a nice looking Saturday before we return to a lot of cloud cover throughout the weekend and into the next week. So you really want to get whatever you want done on Saturday and save everything for inside on Sunday. Again, looking further out, you can really see this low pressure system that's going to intensify and affect us moving into next week. So next week, you're going to really move all of your activities inside and not much is going to get done outside. Looking into our next few days, we're going to see on Monday, we will have a high of around 50 degrees with, again, cloud cover staying in the area. On Monday, yes, our temperatures will increase as a result of that low pressure system, and that'll really continue throughout the week. So we will have higher temperatures, but again, a lot of rain, so we won't be able to do much. So looking into the rest of your weekend and into next week, on Tuesday, again, thunderstorms, so you won't want to do much outside. On Wednesday, those showers really stick around as we don't have much driving it out, so this low pressure system will be very intense and very long lasting, but overnight lows won't be very low, so if you want to do anything at night once the showers stop, you will have plenty of time to do so. On Thursday, the rain again sticks around, and that is as far out as we can see it currently, with a high on Thursday of 68 degrees.
Thanks, Steve. The 2024 hurricane season is shaping up to be one for the record books, according to an annual outlook from forecasters at Colorado State University. And the forecast has more hurricanes and named storms than any of the past ones. Laura Aguirre brings us more on the numbers.
Our boardwalk is nearly 100% completed. Our town in general is looking beautiful.
100% complete, a great number for Seaside Heights, New Jersey. This was last fall. More than 10 years after Hurricane Sandy decimated huge portions of the northeastern U.S. coast, causing nearly $82 billion in damage.
It took me about 3 years to rebuild my house.
But now, homeowners and businesses like this by the millions along the eastern seaboard could be staring down a potentially monstrous hurricane season this summer. Colorado State University's annual hurricane season forecast for 2024 predicts 23 named storms in all. 11 of those, they estimate, could become hurricanes, with possibly 5 of those clocking in as Category 3 or higher, considered major. To put it in perspective, the average Atlantic hurricane season brings 14 named storms, with 7 becoming hurricanes, 3 of them major. NOAA's Climate Prediction Center points to the natural atmospheric condition of La Nina possibly being in play this year, putting it at a 55 to 77% chance between June and November. If so, meteorologists say La Niña will push the jet stream further north, decreasing wind shear, which ripens conditions for more storms to form. This, coupled with warming ocean waters, opens a path that takes aim at the eastern U.S. Colorado State will release updates to their hurricane season forecast in June, July, and August. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Even in last year's very active Atlantic storm season fell short of this year's prediction. The previous outlooks to predict this many hurricanes were mid-season forecasts in August of 2005 and 2020. Itchy eyes and congestion may be symptoms of pollen allergies, and you are not alone in experiencing them. Roughly 1 in 4 American adults are allergic to airborne irritants such as pollen and mold, and unfortunately that number is rising. A recent study found pollen seasons have started 20 days earlier and lasted 8 days longer, along with 20% more pollen production annually. Scientists say this is likely caused by climate change.
As Republicans and Democrats brace for a rematch between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump, some voters wonder how a third-party candidate like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. could impact the race. Meanwhile, some members of the Kennedy family don't want him to run at all. Julia Benbrook explains.
Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is hoping to appear on the ballot in all 50 states, but some members of his famous family have expressed concerns. 4 siblings even calling his run, quote, dangerous to our country.
I do worry that Bobby just taking some percentage of votes from Biden could shift the election and lead to Trump's election.
He's trading in on Camelot, celebrity, conspiracy theories, and conflict for personal gain and fame.
Though several members are critical of his efforts, both his daughter-in-law and first cousin are active in his campaign. And despite criticism, Kennedy says he still feels loved by his family and is moving forward.
I understand why they don't like me running. I understand President Biden has been a 40-year friend to me and my family.
Kennedy recently selected 38-year-old attorney and entrepreneur Nicole Shanahan as his running mate. The announcement accelerates his attempt to gain ballot access in as many states as possible. Nearly half require a vice presidential pick in order to advance the process.
We can do this.
They're already on the ballot in Utah and recently announced they have the signatures for a few other states as well, including North Carolina. That's a battleground state where Kennedy could potentially upend the matchup between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Kennedy has repeatedly set the goal of appearing on the ballot in all 50 states and in Washington, D.C. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Next in sports, Ohio softball head coach Jenna Hall continues to make an impact beyond the diamond. That story when Newswatch returns. And be sure to follow us on social media on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
I'm trying not to cry this whole time.
On Finding Your Roots.
In this episode, we're going to do something we've never done before.
We asked, is there a mystery in your family history?
I'm speechless.
We invited 3 viewers to the show.
You always know that they're there, but to name them?
To uncover an ancestor's deepest secret.
These are pieces that I've been looking for a very long time.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Times are changing.
Every nut and bolt, you know its breaking point, but the humans have not been quantified.
I'm here to serve, I'm here to learn, I'm here to grow, and so whatever happens.
Fortunately, but it's a great way for other moms to get out to watch some baseball and softball this weekend.
And hey, the weather's nice for it. The weather hopefully will be nice for it. Well, still ahead, how you could get a job driving around the country in one nutty car.
But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
on Masterpiece.
The computer system post office spent an arm and a leg on is faulty.
No one else has ever reported any problems.
You're responsible for the loss. I haven't got that money.
I'm not a thief. It must be a bug.
What are we going to do?
Fight.
The post office is a national institution.
They destroyed our whole life.
Here we all are, ready to tell our stories.
Mr. Bates versus the post office on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
What's happening? We're going home.
Where are they?
I'm not involved.
You're involved.
This could be your career.
Ruin it.
That way!
You're tired, son.
The final season of Guilt.
Kenny.
No. On Masterpiece Mystery.
Regardless of your stage of life, whether you're starting your first job, getting the keys to a new home, or enjoying retirement, it's never too early or too late to create an estate plan to care for loved ones and support the causes that are meaningful to you. WOUB Public Media is pleased to have partnered with Giving Dogs, a free resource for building an estate plan that fits your needs and protects the people and causes you care about. Visit WOUB.org and click the support tab to get started today.
Caesar knows that sweeping conquest can make him the greatest man in Rome.
He is loved by the people, but deeply mistrusted by the Senate.
Things are getting completely out of control. Mobs rampaging through the streets.
If the Senate insists on being so aggressive, then Caesar is threatening civil war.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, if you have a peanut allergy, this might not be the job for you. If you are nuts about peanuts though, Hormel Foods is looking for 3 people to drive Mr. Peanut across America in the Nutmobile. It's a full-time job from June this year to June 2025, and you must have a bachelor's degree in marketing, communications, advertising, or public relations, and eager for adventure and travel. Anyone interested can apply at beapeanutter.com by April 14th. You know, something that's very interesting in that list is all of those degrees. They didn't say a driver's license. I don't know if you would need a license to drive a peanut.
That could be a disaster.
That could be a disaster. That could be a disaster. Now, Steve, we mentioned before it was Mom's Weekend. Yes. And I said it was going to be nice. But can you reassure us that that might be true?
It'll be pretty pleasant weather, especially if you're driving the Nutmobile this weekend.
Oh, and that's even better.
It'll be great driving weather, as we'll have a little bit of higher temperatures than we've been used to, but those clouds will stick around.
Perfect.
So as for tonight, we'll have an overnight low of 34 degrees with a chance of showers, so maybe not tonight if you want to go for a walk. Looking at tomorrow, getting ready for work in the morning, you might have to deal with a few showers, but a high of 48, so make sure you bring that hoodie with you, with a low of 29 degrees. Tomorrow, a high pressure system will begin to affect the area and start to clear out these showers we've seen over the past few days. And looking into tomorrow night and into Saturday, that high pressure system completely clears out, so we will have a pretty pleasant weekend this weekend. Looking into next week, however, Monday, those showers return, and we have a lot of that throughout the week, but higher temperatures as we're in the low to mid 70s throughout most of that week. So if you can dodge the raindrops, it'll be great to be outside. But on Thursday, the temperatures will drop a little bit into the 60s, but we'll still have those showers around. But you'll really have, that'll affect your week next week greatly with that rain returning.
Thanks, Steve.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Steve Nedlick, and Maria Manessi, I'm Lucy Schaefer.
And I'm Jack Green. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.